already. I got my key to my hotel room, or little Airbnb, whatever you want to call it. Now, getting some Chinese to go. Then I'm going to go and, I don't know, there's not much light left, so let's see what I do. But got the car. Everything went seamlessly. Took photos of everything, video of everything. Those are always a must. And yeah, there's a lot of wind out there on the sea, but yeah, I don't know. Let's see what I end up doing. It's a little wind here, but quick little look. It's a little windy. Quick little look here. It seems like the tide might be a little bit high right now. That's parking. Checking out, trying to decide, do I want to fish? Do I want to go back and just chill? Do I want to do a market run? It was too windy. Well, welcome to my crib. Cozy, but convenient location and the price is right. So this will do just fine for tonight. And then I'm on the road exploring tomorrow. So I'm awake, ready to roll, but there's a delayed start because my bag had gotten wet. Even though I had the rain cover on it on the flight, they actually got it drenched and I didn't realize it until I went today. And so I have an emergency drying session going on the radiator here, which is luckily really, really hot. So I have to get that sorted out, delay 45 minutes or so, just get the potential for mold out of it, and then I can hit the road. Ever feel like you're being watched and then you realize where? Two flamingos and an owl. Who? I don't know. Who? I still don't know. Look at these waves rolling in right now. And then it gets in and becomes a beautiful calm lagoon. Sorry about the windshield wipers, but there's a lot of rain and sleet right now. But wow, these are wild. I'm gonna go check those out. Look at that ferocious beauty. It's actually quite stunning. And got a couple god rays coming through. So I'm just poking along. I actually really want to fish with the wind and everything else because I want to get a feel on how difficult it'll be and if I can catch lunch, or what it'll be as I'm kind of up here and there's protected ports. But I think with the wind and whatnot, I should probably head down and inland and then try and photograph some waterfalls. But I'm also thinking with waves like this, there's some cliffs and like there's some big explosions there. So these are getting more and more. It's nice. Oh, sorry about the wind. But it's beautiful. Oh, not gonna lie. That is beautiful, but that is rough. I cannot feel my fingers. My lens, because of the freezing wind, couldn't keep it clean and clear to take photos. I don't know, I snapped a bunch, but there's no place to be protected out there to take a photo. So it was very, very beautiful. The waves, the way they're coming up on the cliffs is spectacular. There's some amazing photos to be made there, especially now there's a little light coming out, but just no place I can set up and I can't even keep the lens clean. So I'm gonna go find another beautiful place. I'm kind of loving this terrible weather. Oh, look at that. The parking lot last night flooded from even bigger waves because it's actually calming down now. And let's see if it goes again here. Well, we've got video rolling. No? Oh, the blast has been, yeah, there we go. There's a pool up here that's supposed to be kind of cool. So I'm going to go carefully see if I can stay on the periphery, check it out, see if there's a shot without getting drenched. Wish me luck. Right after all that futzing around, the first waterfall of the trip. This one I actually didn't see on previous trips. It's a little guy. You got a little salmon fish stairwell over there as well. Yeah, something to warm up on before I get to the stuff that I'm really eager to go photograph and hopefully can reach. That's pretty. I would love to go down there, but one of the things about being on my own is that's not gonna happen. The nice part is I have this all the way to myself. Everyone's probably over at the bigger ones. But yeah, I don't know. It's pretty. I like it. Ooh, a little breezy and a little rainy, but I'm back to the place where Mist Defender was invented or created, ideated. Oh, it's windy, but it won't be back in there once I wind back in. It was actually this one and one more waterfall, but I don't think I can get to that one. So I'm very much looking forward to getting back in here. I want to take you back to where Mist Defender was invented. This is where it all started. So several years ago, this is where the Mist Defender started. I made my way back through here, this beautiful canyon here in Iceland, and I thought, what a magnificent place. But there's water dropping, you can tell. Today I've come back with the right shoes, but at the time I had anything but. This is, in my opinion, one of the coolest places. It's also where the concept for Mist Defender came from. Heading back in. These are the spots Mist Defender was invented to support with. That. I found a little troll home. Oh, I'm loving this. And I'm loving these. Best investment of the trip so far. And deeper we go. Oh, wow. Oh, this is pure happy place. Oh, these are fun. Needs a little bit more Mist Defender though on the top there. Pure Lord of the Rings Gollum is in here, or Rivendell, I don't know which. In theory you could keep going up and in, but it's I think it's too much to be worth it. And this is really the view that I wanted. Just unreal. Absolutely unreal. Mist Defender moment through and through. Have it here on my belt. Fear that. Fear that. Get my focus right. Take the shot. Check the shot. Change settings a little bit. Fear that. Shot. Oh, this remains one of my all-time favorite spots in Iceland. Now, emerge here. Good snow threading its way down. So, time to head back. Figure out what next. Still got a little bit of light left. A little bit of time. I think one more waterfall. Now, admittedly, this is a stupid idea, but I'm hell-bent on seeing if I can catch dinner. So I'm gonna try. This is here in the harbor that's protected off the pier. Storm waves out there are like 12-foot waves. The water's murky, but let's see if there's anything. I'll try for a little bit until I get too wet or too cold. Whew, okay. I tried for a bit, but I'm getting too wet. So I think I'm gonna go find a hamburger somewhere. But I tried. And let's see. Maybe come back tomorrow if the weather's not quite like this. Is that sleet? Yeah, sleet right now. Ooh. Different place tonight. Same price as last night. Nice kitchen. That would have been good if I caught any fish. An easy room. So much nicer here. Less quirky. Ah. Nice. $78. That's all right. Beautiful. Well, good morning. How's that saying go? I may not be a wise man, but I'm persistent. Pretty wild watching the ferry go out. Very slow and then rising and falling. I don't know how far. You can see the waves are pretty sizable. Out to the islands out there. I thought about going out. I'm not sure. Let's see how the weather holds. Nice clean beaches and dunes though because of this wind and weather. Oh, maybe something here to check out. Boy, these river deltas are something else. Right now, because of all the rain, they're quite brown, but these are the ones that are super blue that you see in the photos that are wild. So it seems like there's a risk or opportunity, depending on if you're a tourist or local, of a volcanic eruption. So I'm delaying my plan to kind of hoof it farther east. And photographed this waterfall before and I really struggled, especially with this type of light. But so I thought, why not try long lens and mix it up, and I'm quite liking the result of that, so maybe something a little bit different. All right, a little closer. Iconic spot, of course. Really beautiful. I mean, walking behind it's really cool, all that side of it. But it's one that's just been photographed to death. So from a photography standpoint, it's super challenging to do anything interesting, especially on weather like today. But I'm not sure I want to get that wet, that cold. It's crisper today. Let's see, I'll probably end up back there. But the other one that's more interesting was down over here. So I think I'm gonna start there. Another beautiful spot. Very wet spot. Getting sucked out. All right, so I've got to figure out what I do. And I think right now it's wait. The eruption has started, hitting that same town again, which is really rough. That's right outside of the town. I'm not sure it's really accessible to get out there. It's about a 2-hour drive from where I am. Looks fairly decent sized eruption, long line along the seam. So I think I'm going to backtrack maybe 45 minutes and then kind of wait and see what the guidance is, because that whole area is shut down. I don't want to create issues or blockage or anything like that. But once they communicate kind of what's accessible, then potentially go. Otherwise, if it looks like it's too inaccessible or would complicate things for the locals, then I'll just continue along back out to Hoffen in the far east. Quick look out here. This is a pretty special view. Seas are calming down here. Or maybe I'm just way up. Could be either, I guess. But continuing down along, really didn't want to stay in the area, especially after they said, they asked that everybody kind of clear out. So, continuing with my plan, and then when I make my way back, hopefully there's something to see, and then I can check it out and do. I might try and photograph one of these gulls in motion. Photographed puffins last time I'm here, but it's off season for that. So I'll grab the bag and play around a little bit. Pretty cool series here. Prime example of where I love to do long lens photography and get it out. Play with it a little bit. It's an amazing point. All the different textures and personality to each one. Ooh, some nice waves. But it does look like it's calmed down quite a lot in comparison. Boy, this parking lot. A lot of RVs and buses. And then there's another overfill for summer. A lot of people. That's why I'm not spending too much time on these and kind of hunting some of these a little farther along. See people, people see. Pretty hectic. Playing a little bit with long exposure, even though the conditions are otherwise not great. So, nice. These rocks are so beautiful though. Well, you can't really see here, but it's volcanic formation, so water. It's misty. Seagull just got me right here and on my hand. On my hat? I don't know. As a dose of good luck. Damn it. But we're going with the good luck thing. Anyway, meanwhile, these rocks. A little bit of a rain right now, but boy, it's starting to get into the glaciers. It's fantastic. Look at that light in between, the way it's sandwiched like that. Wonderful. Well, weather's being weathery. Made it down to the beach. Luckily, there's a lot of ice. But the weather has been so rough, it's eroded a lot of the sand, taking it down to the pebbles. So, be interesting. But I'm in the mood to play. I'll probably come back here at least once more. I've got 2 nights at least up here. And this is my second favorite spot in Iceland. So I definitely have to play a little bit here. Have some fun. Let's see what I do. This is beautiful, but because of the wave action, they keep coming in. So it's not working with my close-up lens. So what I'm gonna do is actually gonna switch to the long lens, try and get low, and then stay far back. And see if that gives me a totally different strategy, very unusual way to shoot it. But with this much wave action, It's nice because it comes in, but you have like every third one is one that just wipes everything and pulls too much sand out, so there's too much movement. There's no light, so I need to play with the idea that it'll be black and white or things like that, or really play with kind of the interesting ice. So it's also about looking for attractive ice forms that aren't too dirty, and then playing with it that way. Yeah, so these conditions are real challenging. Just have to sit and wait and wait and wait until one of the big waves comes through, and then see what I can get. But it's super tricky, and big waves. When I was here 2018, I had a sunset and a lot of wind, but relatively low waves. So it gave me a long, like a nice long kind of smooth trail. So the rocks, on the other hand, here create a lot of little ripples and foam, which create line and in the long exposure, which is nice. But then, you know, the water erodes the tripod moves. It's, and here we go. So I can get an image like that. And they're beautiful. Just tricky. I'll wait again. Let's see. Certainly an abundance of subject matter. Set up on these right here, just because it's a weird shape. They're clean. Just waiting for water. Water, 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 water. And my toes are cold. So I think this will be the last composition. The current here and the way that it flows into the lagoon is something else as well. Absolutely amazing. It is so fast when it rips in, and then also when it rips out. So you just get shoots in and then rides up to the edge of the glacier. Then all the ice builds up in there, and then the tide turns and back out. I was just thinking the spot where you would fish is right here at that seam, but there's seals out there. Let's see if their head will pop up here. Yeah, see them? Hanging out fishing a little bit. Surfing the tide. Very cool. Seal and an iceberg. I guess it's an iceberg at that size. Floating down towards the current. I'm going to seal a little bit off to the right there. The bird? No, that one's a seal. No, I don't know. I think that one might be a bird. Oh, there you go. Lower 1/3, bobbing his head down. Oh, I could stay here a bit longer, but I guess I should probably go get my feet warm. This one is like $10 more than the other one. Here for 2 nights. Very weird. But lots of space, which is nice. And they put this, which, I mean, I guess I've got the right boots on for it. Quirky. Oh, it's raining. Looks like there could be northern lights if it wasn't rainy and cloudy, which is torture. Here for 2 nights though, so fingers crossed it all blows through, and then tomorrow night I get to go see some of the green stuff in the sky. That's the plan. But that was a lovely, lovely day. Very cold, very soggy. I'm gonna download some photos and see what I've got. A little snack that they're gonna hate me for. Yep. Well, I got my fish after all today. Well, it looks like the rain is finally slowing down a little bit, and there is a hint that I might get partly sunny skies by this evening. So fingers crossed for northern lights, things like that. First, I need to clean all the gear, go through my lenses, wash my ND filters,
and get everything prepped for another couple days. When I was up in this part of the time with my brother, 2018, there were a couple waterfalls that were really interesting. So I'm going to work up the fjords a little bit. Some of the other fjords, there was one that was just spectacular that I would love to go back to, but I think the pass is not passable to get down into that fjord right now yet. It was interesting also the glaciers near here before Diamond Beach, before we'd stopped and been able to go in, but they put a big new welcoming center, closed down the road we had gone down and turned it into a 1.5 mile hike up to the glacier. So lots and lots of changes, which is to be expected with how popular things are.
Oh, gonna be a lot of wind on this one. It's gusting, it's misty, it's foggy, but there's an old Nordic piece of advice that if you don't like the weather, just keep going until you find another fjord, and then eventually you'll get a new climate. So that's my game plan. I'm very tempted to stop here, but with the wind, there's a nice waterfall at the tip there. The wind and everything else, I'm just gonna keep pushing forward a little bit and then backtrack. Nice thing is the water's clearing out, so it's starting to get the blue. Is that a fish right there? No, can't be. Is it? No, that's a rock. I'm just seeing fish everywhere. So I'm gonna, but boy, you get to see the water. There's nice color in here on the moss, which is really, really nice as well. So I'm gonna continue on and wish me luck. They're quite far away and I'm not backtracking, but along this coast, there are swans and swans and swans and swans. Probably been 500 of them, easily, maybe more. You can see what look like white little specks out there. More swans. It's really, really cool. Okay, so the downside to that wisdom I was talking about before was sometimes you go to a new fjord and it's worse. This is really pretty, even though it is really rough. All right, here comes the wind noise. Sorry, look at the wind on the sea there, blowing across. Woo! All right, I found a little pull off. Now, I'm thinking this will be the same issue I had as the first day. The wind is so strong, it's rocking the vehicle. Wow, can't see past the raindrops. So what I'm gonna see is I'm gonna go scout and see if I can find a spot where the wind, I think the wind's coming from every direction to be honest, but maybe on the backside of that where I could set up and snap some photos without getting absolutely destroyed. So let's see. The wind right now and the coast are, whoa, but it is really, really, really pretty. So just work with it. Oh, well, I think maybe some spots. I don't know why I never bring the camera down with me. I'm out on the point now. But it sure looks like life should just emerge from the sea for the first time any minute, right? That is something else. Oh, I'm trying to block the wind with my body right now, but don't think it's working very well. You guys kept telling me I needed to go to a beach. Gotta be more specific next time. Where does it go? Wait, over there. Ooh, it's a beautiful black sand beach. It's just lovely. Don't even have to worry about sunscreen. At what point does this count as nature? Just take. It's all good. I love how this is coming in like here. I have to keep a super close eye on it, but it's really, really interesting. Oh, look at the wind. Tide's still going out right now. Can't even put into words how beautiful this is. The birds out there just flopping around. These volcanic channels here, like natural breakwaters. Wow. When the light hits with all the spray in the air, unreal. Patience and perseverance pay off.
Still a bit windy, but these fjords, oh, this is why I wanted to come all the way out here, even though it's a bit schlep. The scale is just so hard to even capture. Those are trees down there, lower center. There's a car there cruising along. Jeep's got a nice view. Little ways to go yet, wrapping along. I'm in a small pocket of calm. You can see the sea is very choppy. There are wind gusts of up to 28 meters a second, which is a lot. Made it to the waterfall. Let's see. The wind was howling down that valley. So I'm a little tired of the wind, but I have sun. So, and gosh, it's pretty. These fjords are stunning. And they are massive. "100% not the composition that I came here for, but I think makes something work there." The waterfall is blowing backwards out that way. So if I step out from behind this rock, I just get absolutely clobbered. So no chance of a photo there, but this could be pretty. I kind of like the framing.
That's snow blowing down from the cold mountains. The view down the valley. Wow. So frothy, there's a rainbow. Well, I think I'm gonna head back. Maybe I can get on the other side of this. Boy, that rainbow with the waves though is pretty cool. I think the car is shaking so much that even though it's off, gosh, I need to drive.
Little hints of spring. And we got blue sky. Way too much wind to do anything. But it's clearing up, which I'm very looking for tonight.
One of the interesting things about Iceland is that the waterfalls flow down like normal, sideways, and up.
I finally found a spot without wind. The exciting thing is, I mean, sunset is a long way from here, and no clouds. The sunset's not so good, but if clouds don't come rolling in, and if there are northern lights, I might be in luck. But for now, play with some compositions here, see what I can do, and just fiddle around a little bit. Oh, I actually wasn't sure if this was going to be worth walking up to. Should have known better. Almost always is. And you can see just the tip up there, back in the valley. Huh. With all the backlight, I was pretty worried that I was gonna struggle. But there's this great cutout. And so, what I'm doing is getting these really moody, beautiful shots with 1, 2, 3. And as long as I cut out at that part, it actually works out all right. All right, I'm loving the skies right now. And the upside of all the wind is it's chased a lot of people off. So it's pretty quiet out here right now, although they all went for dinner. And then it erases the footprint in the sand, so that's good. So, it's about 6 o'clock. Sunset's 8:30, so I'm quite early. I was playing with this with a long exposure on the waves as a novel composition. Not great. All right. Oh. No clouds, which is why I'm not down bothering doing much else. But just having fun and waiting
So you want clouds for sunset, and then you want no clouds for the northern lights. So can't have it all. And I'm very happy with the blue skies right now. So let's hope they hold. This, I was tempted to try and get the fishing rod, but it's just too murky and choppy, and I don't want to get close to the water. So better safe than sorry. So, dinner of champions. I kind of messed this up. It turns out it is chili sauce. I thought it was tomato sauce. That's much more regrettable. Should be photographing, but nah. I was more in the mood to try this, even though it's murky and everything else, but more to chill. And there's a seal out here hanging out. I can't see him now, but I decided I'd join him while I chill and wait. But quite cool surfer out there, doing a bit of surf as well. And he's got his photographer. He's up there. Cool. All right, saw some color, changed my mind. Whew. Back to photography. All right, there we go. Couple. It's difficult on the framing, and there's not a ton of it, but there is definitely a bit. Well, yeah, maybe you can barely see it there. Just a bit. But not skunked, so it was worth the cold and wind. All right, made it back to the hotel. It was just too cold out there to continue, and not a star visible in the sky. I was out there for about 6 hours. Gave up around 12. Did get some, so here we go. I'll show you here. So, some images that I think I'm happy with. So, oops. You can see a bit of northern lights in there, whatnot. Some interesting compositions. Oh boy, if that sea fog hadn't come in, the lights, and there's a big geo storm going on right now. So the lights were basically going nonstop for 3 hours. Yeah, so you can see, some cool light there, but boy, with that clouds, meant I needed to do long exposure on everything. But I was out there playing for a long time, trying to catch the reflection a little bit. There's a lot on the top, but it was actually better once I, boy, when the big ones popped in. But yeah, just I was struggling there. Some at the end, but yeah, it was beautiful though, quite beautiful. These compositions are no good. I was trying to position myself and find the light. That was early on, before the clouds rolled in. Walk down here. Nice patterns in the sand. And then gonna go eat a burger. And then head, I think right down there basically. Maybe it's that one over there. About 15-minute drive, poke around, and spend a lot of time with Glacier Bay. Let's see how it goes. What a difference a day makes. Don't even need my jacket right now. Cruising along, heading down, and oh, it is gorgeous. It's always a little bit of a trade-off though, right? Because it's like when it's not cloudy, when it's not rainy, then of course the waterfalls go away. It's the same with Faroe Islands and Norway. But I'll take it. The fact I'm not in my jacket right now is amazing. I stopped because I wanted to do kind of like a little composition there. And there's a hill here that I'll go up and look around, because not that often that you get the hills out on this kind of low flat land before the sea.
All right. Well, this is pretty cool because there's no clouds or fog on the picture right now. I should say. So you can see all the lines, the beauty, the size of it. Wild. All the cracks and textures. And this giant one right next to me. Size-wise, it's a little baby in comparison. This time the current's flowing out. And with all the birds, the gulls. A lot of ice down there, it looks like. It's calm, beautiful. Well, maybe calm's the wrong word. There's a lot of people. So many birds. Those are just regular gulls, but also because the migration is ongoing right now, there's so many Canadian geese and swans. It's really impressive. It's always interesting how tricky it is to photograph ice. I had it in Svalbard, I had it in Argentina. Just the beauty of it, but you're looking for small shapes and your eye gets overwhelmed. And then, you know, also something like this just isn't that attractive. So to frame it and to figure out something you can isolate, you end up photographing the birds more than you end up photographing the ice. So you get guys like this, stand up on top. But it's always an interesting challenge. That's one where the people that really do it well, it's really impressive. Tide is way, way, way down. It was up here when I was here last night. Of course, it just means it's out. And it's starting to turn, which is always pretty fascinating. Watching the currents when you have so much water flowing out so fast. All the birds feeding down there, which is cool. And the seals out fishing a little bit. But yeah, mistimed my setup, but that's also what happens when I don't research. My recollection was off from last time. So yeah, play it by ear. See, as the water comes in, it pushes all the icebergs back in on the beach. There's still a bunch up there. It's just dirty and worn down. And what I really like are like the clean shapes from the bottom versus the ones that were up on the top that kind of have the heavier snow. So let's see what I find, but it could be a beautiful sunset, so worth hanging around. Here we have the common North American dipshit in his natural environment, because why wouldn't you do that right here, right now in National Park? And of course the glacier needs ice on it, and yes, they're American and they are dipshits. I really made a big snout move today. Being tired. But what I really wanted were teeth like that and to get a little bit closer to one of the glaciers. So I'm here. I found this little side one, which has let me do that. So that's good. Salvages my little road trip down here. Tempting to go out on it, but maybe not. Let's see. Ooh. That reflection. Now we're talking. Oh. Why? All right, now I'm happy. Made the whole trip south worth it. Wow. These Icelandic off-road vehicles are just something else. Look at those tires with the air system so they can deflate them, increase them as need be. Muffler for fording rivers. That is just a beast. And I mean, this tire comes up to my waist. Very cool. Very, 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 very cool. Oh, I've been saying a lot of very cools. Parking lot emptying out. I think almost time to head back to the beach. This is what I was hoping for, much more so. I can play with this. It's really interesting. There's a lot of the kind of scrappy ice that then falls apart like this. But the ice that I kind of want to photograph is more like this one here. That bottom half where it's smooth and kind of chiseled versus this part here. But there's very little that's washed ashore right now that way. I think we're incoming tide, but kind of at the slack line right now. But yeah, it's all concentrated here. So I'm actually struggling. Nice. Even though the light's really pretty, and then there's all these little guys. So trying to figure out what to do with the little guys. Because the shapes on the big ones are, yeah, not what I'm looking for. It's wild when you look at kind of the aftermath of the storms. So all the sand is eroded down here. Up here, where it pushed everything, which I think is quite, well, no, maybe it's still within the evening tide line. But you have this one behemoth that's left. Almost none others. Everything else is clear down there. So everything else has melted away. Really pretty skies. I'm gonna head over to that side, even though there's a little less ice. I'm hoping it's more the type of ice that I'm looking for. That's my excuse why I'm struggling with my composition. Not that it's me. Oh, all right. I found a spot I'm loving. This little berm actually creates exactly what I wanted. So then I can get, well, not on that one, but it flows up, gives me a nice long exposure, and then I can do a bigger, kind of wider vista and catch more ice and the sunset in the background as it's starting to kick off. Makes me happy to finally get a composition. Yeah, something like here, then it just flows over. Woo! Everything moves. How bad is it if I say it's a peachy end to the day? Wah, 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 wah. That is wonderful. Saw a big dolphin or a small whale go by earlier as well. It's really nice. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, that's cool. Wow. Wow. Magnificent. I can see it with my naked eye. Watching it dancing. Oh. Won't focus. Nope. There. Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, boy. Look at that go.
morning. I'm heading back down the coast. Found this great little road, which I'm going to wind back in, revisiting the glacier from yesterday. Wow, that kind of tundra. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? Stream flowing through, so take a little break. It's a lot of driving today because I have to head back down towards Vic and past Vic. But boy, I love this area. It's just stunning. Just loving this reflection. Pretty cute. Family there with a little one. Reminds me of traveling with the folks. Glacier's just right up over that side. Yesterday I was on that side, but it was on the other side of the stream. And my hope is there's a little peninsula here that will take me out and get me closer for some better photos. But it's always so misleading on the distances. I like the light on the mountain there. So let's see. Not bad. For perspective, that is a boat with 6 or 8 people on it. Where's the other one here? Oops, it's too far. Yeah, so 1 boat, 2 boats there. See them? Right up along the edge. It's pretty tempting to go and do that today, but I've seen some up close in Svalbard and elsewhere, so. But wow. Then again, new glacier, new experience. No, but I got a long ways to drive, so I will content myself with this. You know, the problem that I always run into is there's a point, and I see that point, and I go to that point, and then I say, oh, God, this is a great view. But there's always a view of another point that looks like an even better view that's a ways away. And then I go to that point, and I say, oh, wow, this view's even better than the last point. But then there's another point. And they're always on the other side of hills, and they're moving ground. But so cool. Boy, when you get reflections like this, you can see how our ancestors were walking by something and then looked and saw it and said, how can I get that effect? Something that perfect, that type of mirror. A lot of ice. I just love this little clean piece of ice. This is the clear part where the waters run off the land, and then this is kind of the glacial melt that's mixing through. You can see kind of the thickness, kind of ethereal tendrils looping through. Dancing, dancing, dancing. Well, I have made it. Now, did it meaningfully change my compositions? No. It's actually better farther away. But it's really, really cool to be out here. See this weird whale. Ice piece. 100%. You can see here, this is all glacier actually. Just covered in eroded rock coming out. So I'm being careful to stay along the water's edge, but always keeping an eye on the water in case one of these falls so I can get up anyway. But yeah, better than being on a Zodiac because I can take a couple photos. Just walking back from the glacier. I was out on that little spit there. That's where I need to go.
Whew, a little bit of a walk ahead. Oh, wow, it is beautiful. And the weather's really cooperating again, which is nice. The geology here is so different. Light is really in a tough spot for a photo, but it's a cool spot. I forget just how long this drive is across down here. A little bit of a marathon. But this is a great spot that I haven't seen before. A little bit cooler view. Light up there is really nice. So it's in blue hour and nothing I can photograph around. So what I'm going to do is go to a waterfall and see it on the Northern Lights. A little bit of a risk, the direction, but I needed some food and ended up in the one place that's open to get some takeout. Very touristy Viking longhouse in the town hall or something. I don't know what it is, but I'll grab a bite to eat here. And then there's a waterfall that should be facing north. Looks like the skies are clear, and Norlees is telling me that the activity up there is looking good. So let's see, roll the dice. Otherwise, because I'm about 30 kilometers away from any type of mountains, which is a little bit more challenging. Let's see. All right, well, this road is worse than... So I'm waiting to see, and then I think I'll just park here. There's not like anybody who's coming in. It's only 300 meters down to the parking spot. I was just driving here, and it was already worth it. There was an amazing shooting star that covered about that much of the horizon right in front of the car and just shot straight down. That was really, really beautiful. Oh, and I can hear the birds. So many birds. Got a hamburger, another burger. So I'm gonna scarf that while I wait for the light to transition. Well, let's see. Walking down a gravel road full of potholes. Camera in hand. The moon above. Reminds me of Cortez. A little hard to make out, but I've got my spot. The waterfall is beautiful. I've got myself. I've got my camera. Now, maybe there's a little bit, but that might also just be city glow back in the back there. So, I don't know. We wait for a bit. The moon is out. Sunset is fading. These are one of the two where it is just so unfair to be like a large guy. And fair enough, it's Iceland. I wouldn't do this most other places. But thinking about, you can't see me at all. If I wasn't a guy and everything else, whether or not I would, come out and do stuff like this, definitely unfair. So it's definitely there. It's just far off, and there's a lot of haze that it's picking up. So it either needs to come a lot closer and the haze needs to go away once it's finally past dusk, or I may be in trouble. But it is there, so that's good. Eureka! Ho ho ho! Magic.
Holy smokes. It is everywhere. Amazing. Oh, wow. Oh, that was a fantastic, amazing show. The waterfall there was fantastic. The lights were really, really great. Purples and greens, a little bit red. And another photographer was there, so that's always good. So had a nice chat, some good photos. And it pains me to leave right now, but I got a full memory card. I really need to get some shut-eye and back to the Airbnb, which I called them, but need to hope I can get in. Oh, it is spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. Look at it dance. And it's everywhere. Oh, that one is so strong.
All right, back on the road. Slow start again today, but it is cloudy and windy, so I'm heading inland, drifting back towards Reykjavik and whatnot. I fly tomorrow evening. Just stopped for a double-decker hamburger at the gas station, subsisting off of hamburgers on these trips, which is fine by me because I quite like hamburgers. It's a full-rounded thing. It has everything to it, but also in the Nordics, it's one of those things where Norway, Iceland, anywhere that is historically quite expensive or also a little bit more remote, the gas stations actually have really decent burgers. And I think I just paid for the double-decker 140 kroner, $20 for soda, fries, like full meal, which is cheap in comparison to everything else. It'd be 100 kroner at McDonald's back home. That is one of the kind of overall hacks on these trips is, you could also hit the market and do all that side of it. And whatnot. I just find this is convenient, and 140 kroner for a big burger is okay. Much cheaper than when you go to the restaurant. You're just bleeding money in a lot of the places, right? Twice the price or whatnot, I think. Yeah, and they're surprisingly good. When you say gas station burger, usually people think, oh my god, food poisoning central or terrible or whatever it is, but no, not at all. They're quite good. So now I'm gonna go hunt another waterfall. Seems like waterfall weather. And then let's see what blows in, which direction I get blown as I wander the countryside. Let's hope there's not too much wind. The south coast has a lot again, so we go north.
Now I wanted to come back to this one. I hadn't been here on previous trips, and the blues in it are what make it so special. Just so beautiful. So, boy, there's just that little slot through there that's been cut. And that blue color. Unreal. Just me and 100 of my closest friends. But, yeah, this will keep me busy for good. Wow, this is really one of the most beautiful, small, intimate. People always fucking throwing rocks, never fails. Anyway, maybe we start throwing down next. So many interesting compositions to play with, even though it's a heavily photographed spot. You can play with it, and I'm so glad that the blues are here. I was worried it would be a little bit milky. So this is the photographer you don't want to be. It's fine that he wants to set up, but the moron set his tripod up out in the middle of the waterfall, then went to go get his camera and set up his lens and everything else. For having all the gear and knowing what he's doing. Utterly unaware of what he's doing. So, yeah, don't be that guy. like watching Darwin Awards meets grizzlies hunting for salmon in like a weird, awkward sort of way. Wow, that waterfall, the colors, the blues in there are stunning. So actually this weather worked out quite nicely with it. I definitely wouldn't want it to have it in the sun. So took about 1,000 photos on each lens, and looking forward to seeing how those turned out and what compositions I missed. But oh, fantastic. Now I need to figure out next. There's a little bit of a mist slash, is it snow? No, it's just a mist. So back to the car and then somewhere interesting, I guess. A little bit first though. I found myself a good spot out of the wind. I got rocks, I got seaweed, I got a beautiful black sand beach, I got incoming tide, just don't got fish. Water cleared out a little bit too, which is nice. I don't know, give it a little bit longer. I stand defeated by fishing in Iceland. Norway definitely wins on that account. But it was nice. Probably a little bit too early for the tide. Or maybe they only fish off of bait instead of jigs. Either way, all good. I made it to my accommodation. And we'll relax a little bit because it's back home tomorrow. And back to work on Monday. Monday? Yeah, Monday. Whew. That week is going by quite quick. But it has been lovely. Well, final morning. I fly today at 5. About an hour and a half drive up to the airport without stops. Which means 3 or 4 for me. Tide's out, but just wanted to get a start because there's this old harbor in the town where I was staying. Looks like it was from 1988 before the nearby big town replaced it. Now largely derelict. There's a little seal. Just went under, hanging out. Wind's not blowing too hard. It's really, really nice. Well, I'm not sure how to feel about this. I didn't get skunked, but that's the smallest fish I think I've ever caught on a spinner. Poor little guy. Oh. There's a water puppy keeping me company here. He was just right up in front of me. Pretty cute. Little one, actually. Hi. Eating those giant fish I'm catching. Well, I'm back into the weather. Waves were too big last time, but this is cool. This little natural volcanic pool. Just making my way along the coast. Pity on the rain. Could work with this a little bit. So a little cold, but that wind, oh boy. But managed to catch 4.5. They were all like 8 inches max, but still best fishing of the trip. And a nice note to end on, even though, wow, those gusts were a little bit rough. Looks a little bit different now without the crazy wind and storm. Still a bit breezy. Figured I'd come check it out. Take 1 or 2 long exposures, then hit the road again. I just really like this shape of this rock here. All right, that's a wrap. Car's dropped off, checked in, dropped my bag. Now, just have to wait for a bit because I'm a bit early. And what a great trip. Iceland treated me right. I was really worried the weather was going to be a nightmare, and it was definitely challenging at times, but overall ended up being quite beautiful. Happy with everything. Even caught some fish in there at the very end, even though they were itty bitty. But still, didn't get skunked, so that was good. And yeah, it's such a spectacular place. That far eastern area is just so different and empty, where you can definitely feel the impact of tourism and infrastructure. Here in all the other areas, this wind's gonna be bad. There's just no escaping from the wind right now. But yeah, what a trip. I'll still post more photos as I go, and over the next few days before I get into the edit. All right, I'm inside, so let's talk logistics. I know it's kind of helpful. I drove 2,026 kilometers in the 7 days to get to the Far East. It's a schlep, but it's just also beautiful driving because you see the Icelandic landscape and then the weather changing and the dynamics and the light. And there's so much more to it in the dynamic range that your eyes catch that even the camera can't really pick up. So the depth and all that side of it, you have to experience it to see it. My flights, I did a mixture of points and then it's off season. So they were quite cheap. I think in total about 1,000 kroner, and then points for one of the legs, 15,000 points. And again, off season, so car rentals were cheaper. I paid $314 for the 7-day rental, which was the cheapest. And then I didn't take the advanced insurance because it's a ridiculous thing that they add. Though I was careful. Someday I'm going to learn to actually book maybe a 4x4 when I come here instead of a little Honda. It wasn't even a Honda Civic. It was even smaller than that. But it got me where I needed to go. I was worried that accommodation was going to be more than 100 a night. It ended up being between typically about 70 to 90 every night, which, in high season wouldn't be possible. But right now it basically meant that it was maybe in total €100 cheaper than if I'd had the camper. And that was with private bathroom in the vast majority of them, and a room to myself, not doing hostels or that side. So I had hoped to kind of cook a little bit and do some stuff. Didn't end up doing that, so I did my gas station hamburgers or snacks and stuff from the supermarket. Gas station burger was typically about $20 with fries and a drink. So you figure, one or two of those a day. I like hamburgers. I can eat hamburgers, but also my canned goods, as you saw, as far as the canned fish and breads and things like that, and snacks and some ramen. So all in all, super easy. Didn't need to take out cash, same as Norway, in that everything is digital. And then all of the parks charge a parking fee that you need to be careful to pay, because the car rental wanted to charge 3 times that for processing any tickets, and that's about 1,000 Icelandic a day, which is $5. I stand corrected, $765 as it currently is. And so for any of the big places, it's between $750 and $1,000, so $5 to $8 to park, which is usually good for one day. So if you do 1, 2, 3 different sites, then you have that cost as well. Otherwise, 2,000 kilometers worth of gas in the little car. Those were basically my expenses. So the rest was nature, beauty. I didn't do any of the parks or the glacier tours or anything like that. So, those start at $100 usually, at least. Some would definitely be quite cool to do. But, so that's basically what it came to. Right about where I expected, actually a little bit cheaper probably. I was really worried about the accommodation stuff, and it was a little bit of a stretch, but worked out fine. So as always, I'll continue to post some photos downloaded straight off of the camera into my phone that then I do a very quick Instagram edit and share. There's more in my podcast interview with Matt Payne that just posted on the F-Stop and Collaborate Listen on my general workflow and that side of it. We talk about a bunch of stuff. It's not just relevant to photographers. So consider checking that out, giving it a like on YouTube or whatever, because I'd love to see that reach more people. And we go into a lot of it
it was really, really beautiful. I delayed, and almost didn't book this trip because the weather looked just so brutal. And as you have seen, there were definitely moments where it was very brutal, but also beautiful. And with somewhere like Iceland, the moss only turns green when it's wet. Waterfalls cascade down in a lot of those fjords only when it's raining. So you need that harsh weather at least part of the time. And yeah, I mean, the spots added one or two new ones. Saw some that I had seen before in new light. Best Northern Lights that I've seen so far. I need to get a Northern Lights night photography lens and do Lofoten in Norway and that side, or come back next winter. Oh, it is beautiful underneath it. And, you know, everyone always asks, is it visible? It is very visible with the naked eye when it's dark enough and strong enough. And you can start to see the color shift between the different ones. But it's not like it looks in the camera, but you still see something, especially when it's really strong, that is very, very special. And you can see it move in a unique way. So that's all fantastic. Thanks for tuning along. It's always fun to share as I do these solo trips and wonder, and that to hear kind of what you liked and what inspired you and your questions. So just shoot them over if you have any. And until next time, I'm out.